All right. Happy Friday. Yes, the claps. Let's get those in. All right,
Yes.
cool. There we go. All right. I swear I've never done this before, and I'm getting, I'm managing technical difficulties. See, what I'm doing, Beav, is I'm making those mistakes for you, so that way, just gotta get those out of the way. I know you're stressing. You think you may not be up to par. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good stream. We're gonna have fun here. Welcome to a unique episode of a Candor Gander here. Typically, we're a variety show, and generally speaking, we interview people like you. And today, we're just gonna spice it up a bit different. It's a special episode. Today, we're joined by the likes of many of your favorite streamers. Um, I know we're all joined here, by our love for DFK. Sometimes we have differences in opinion. We'll find out. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. We're gonna hear those hot takes. Um, Go ahead, grab a drink, take a seat, and welcome to the flock. I'll go ahead and start us off here by just letting everyone know, if you want to be entered into a raffle, type bullish into the chat, and I'll tell you all how that raffle is gonna work here in a minute. But before then, I'll go ahead. We're managing different screens. One of you is gonna come off for a sec. Rock, I'm gonna bring you down from the screen for a sec. Put you here on the side so I can bring up another screen. Let me go ahead and do that. Ba-ba-bum. All right, cool. Here we go. DFK hot takes. All right. So rules for the game. So each guest will get 1 minute to give their hot take on the question/comments presented. Timer will be visible to all. You get to finish your thought after the minute, but please no going over that time. Points will be awarded arbitrarily based on how hot that hot take is. We'll see. You can use how hot that hot take is. Yes. You can use your minute as you wish. You respond to a comment made by one of our other guests, but focus on that topic at hand. More points for focusing on those topics. Um, each guest will get a shot to start a round so that no one guest continues to go first. You must interact, like I said, in the chat here with DFK Bullish to be entered in that raffle. So the way it'll work is a guest, one of our lovely guests here, will have the opportunity to represent one of you all. So meaning, again, I'm awarding points arbitrarily, and whoever has the most points, when it comes to these hot takes, will be declared the winner. They get bragging rights, but the person they're representing gets two blue eggs for you to sell, hatch, do what you please with. So let's go ahead and I've seen some hot takes here. It'll take me a second to get people in. Let me go ahead and hide this screen. We'll bring Rock back up. And while we're doing that, let me see. Rock.
Thank you very
Rock, you
much.
see your screen here.
Yeah, I'm working on
No
it.
worries, no worries. Technology.
There
Gotta
we
love
go.
it. There we go.
There
Love
you
it, love it,
go.
love it. So while I'm entering names here, why don't we all take just a few seconds to reintroduce ourselves? We all know you, we all love you, but for those of you who may have not heard of you, I don't know what rock they may be hiding under, but we'll go ahead and
What?
yeah, exactly. What? Yeah, not Rock 808. They're definitely not hiding under there. He's an entity all in of its own. But we'll go ahead and start here on my end. So I see Beeb, Christian, Maddie, Raph, Brown, Jen, Crypto, Grady, Rock 808. Beeb, if you want to start us off, I said I would let you start us off. No points for this one here. So feel free to just introduce or reintroduce yourself, and I'll get names here, and we'll pull a raffle here in a sec. Beef, can you hear me? You can hear me, but I can't hear
We can't hear you.
you.
You're
You
muted.
know, there you go. I've unmuted you. There you go.
There we
There
are.
we go.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
Go for it.
I'm the Beeve, Theory Crafter at heart, original Mythic Squad member.
Nice. Thank you, Christian.
Hey guys, I'm Christian Peter. I've been playing DFK now since October of 2021, about 14 months. Put together a couple of videos in December on from what's going on in the kingdoms. Rode the wave up to $22, rode the wave down to 12 cents, I guess is where it hit. But I'm excited about the long-term prospects of DFK. Super psyched, glad to be here. Sergeant, thanks for putting this thing on. Glad to meet some of you guys for the first time. And it was awesome being in Miami to meet you guys in person, and just super excited about where things are going.
Beautiful, love it. Maddie Pask representing Bogside today. Please reintroduce yourself.
What's going on? Yeah, I'm Matty Pesk. I'm coming from the Bogside Chats crew. We love talking DFK and theory crafting on PvP. Let's do this. I'm so excited. Thanks for having me, Sergeant.
Love it. Raph, one and only.
Hey, Raph from Adventures in DeFi Kingdom, streaming to you live high above the keep.
You have one of the best intros. I can never come up with a moniker as cool as that. I love it. I love it. Brown Gent, I know you're a bit under the weather, so please reintroduce yourself to the crowd.
Yes, that's good. So thanks again for having me. Title, I'm the Brown Gent. Some people call me Sam, those who know me very well. I joined DeFi Kingdoms back last year in December, so it's been about a year and a month. Got through the highs and the lows, and honestly, I had a huge high last night with a Gen 0 win. So I'm still kind of pumped from that. And honestly, I was gonna be in bed all day, but it's hard to be because that adrenaline rush is still there. So my first big crypto project, I consider myself a big community builder, and in real life, I work as the head of marketing for a big pharmaceutical company. On a side note, did anyone else wear the same outfit as they had in the intro? Because I did. Busted.
I did not. Rock, you look exactly the same. No, actually, no, you're I was actually able to pull video of you in Miami. So thanks for that. And how awesome that we're all sort of, at least if not face docs, we've been docs in one form or another. It's awesome to be able to speak to talking heads. Crypto Grady, I almost feel like you don't need an introduction, but let's reintroduce you.
Are you gonna skip me there, Sarge?
No, how could we?
Oh man,
the Grady bunch.
You're one and only amazing crypto expert right here, who's managed to lose all of his money in crypto over this last year. You're one and only crypto Grady, who is amazed to be in the presence of such amazing, good-looking fools right here. I love it. I love you guys.
I love it. I love it. No, and you know what? If we all knew what we were doing, I don't know that any of us would actually be here. Maybe $1 million or several $1 million, $1 billion. I'd be in an island somewhere, maybe streaming, definitely catching you all. So hey. We're all here for sure. Rock 808, last but not least.
Yeah, how am I going to follow that? Oh my goodness. Crypto Grady is definitely a pillar of the community. So I'm Rock 808. I've been playing and streaming DFK off and on, I guess, since March of this year. So it's a lot of fun. I want to do more streaming and more playing.
I love it. I love it. No, that's great. So what I've done is I've taken names here, and you guys are just gonna have to take my word at it, because I'm gonna break it if I add another screen here. So what we'll do is we'll spin a wheel, and B, you will be representing for a potential prize today the Haitian
is on.
Haitian buffet.
Let's go.
Haitian. All right, Christian. You'll be representing. You'll be representing friends.
Oh,
all right.
No. Are you kidding me?
No pressure. Maddie. All right. Let's see what you got. Yeah, I am not kidding you. Rubido. That's who you're
Let's
repping.
go.
Raph, you'll be repping Sophie Poser. All right.
Ooh.
All
Brown
right.
Jet, you'll be repping Biscuits.
Mm.
Ah,
Crypto Grady, you're repping. We can't have France be repped twice. Let's respin that.
You gotta, yeah.
Skiller 55. That's who you're
Ooh.
repping.
killer baby, yeah. I love that
And-
guy. All right.
And Rock 808, you're repping Be Easy.
Ooh,
Nice. Very
Oh,
cool.
very
Be
nice.
Easy. Yes.
I'll try to do you proud.
All right. So let's go ahead and get it started. So I've got some questions lined out. Like I said, we're all gonna get a minute. Beef, I know you didn't want to go first, so I'll go reverse end on my end. Rock 808, you'll start us
Yes.
off. You'll get question number 1. Many of these are prompted with some sort of background for you all to consider, but I'll put up the general question up on the screen for us all to be able to see and take note of here. So let's go ahead and just put the timer up so it's ready to go when we're ready to go. And I'll move it here. Here we go. All right, question number 1. So I've shared this story with you, Grady. So I've recently sent 82 AVAX to my AVAX-C address in crypto.com through DFK chain. Needless to say, that's an 82 AVAX mistake. I may never ever see that 82 AVAX again. You can lose your keys, you can lose your seed phrase, you make fat finger mistakes, and yes, in crypto, you can send stuff to that wrong wallet, use the wrong chain, or even accidentally tell that hero that was very precious to you. In crypto, Web3, GameFi, and yes, DFK, the biggest boogeyman is not the rugger, the scammer, or the thief. The average user's worst enemy is staring back at them in their mirror. In crypto, for the average user, their own worst enemies themselves. Rock 808, start us off. That's your take.
This is an amazing question. Actually, I had something that I wanted to interject on my own for the first few seconds, and I was going to answer the question. But believe it or not, I feel that this question directly focuses on what I was going to talk about anyway. I was going to give a big shout out to Coolio and Zealous and DFK Helper. Just because the massive amount of time Coolio spent with me the other night, helping me with a little bug or a quirk. And then I think he spent an hour with me at that time. And of course, I only got 30 seconds. So a lot more time past his bedtime that he needed. Zealous came in the next day. I had a little thing. He fixed it in 10 minutes. By 10 minutes of me asking him, he fixed it. All this to say, if you use a bot, I feel that would help you not make those mistakes, right? A bot will be programmed to do the right thing. And that is my answer. Use bots, guys. They will do it for you.
I love it. I love it. So as you may be seeing here on the screen, you'll see points accumulate next to your name. Huge shout out to DFK Helper for sure. Great community members. Bots, interesting take. Use them for safety. I love it. Crypto Grady, let's hear you. Let's get that minute up on the screen. Let's hear that take.
Oh, same question. Well,
yeah, same question.
The whole time you were talking, I basically missed everything you said because I just noticed the Gander logo blocking Raph's face.
No, oh my God, you're right. Let's fix that.
Yes. No. Okay, so yes, we are our own worst enemy, absolutely, in crypto. Most people, they're not like the brown gent who's Mr. Johnny on it, Mr. Detailed, Mr. All Over It, Mr. Dot your I's and cross your T's. We forget stuff. We lose our phone. We didn't write down our keys. Did we take our keys to a bank deposit box? No. So a lot of people just absolutely, they just forget where their crypto is, on which exchange it is, which blockchain it is. And that we see that even in DeFi kingdoms, so many people just left the ecosystem and probably many of them will lose everything.
No, it's very true. I mean, it's I think of that guy who lost his he's out there looking for his crypto in some trash heap there in Europe. I think it's Europe. Good luck to him. Brown Gent, let's give you a minute. And Raph, I re-invite you to turn on that camera. I took down that that logo there. Thanks for calling that up. Brown Gent. So in crypto, for the average user, you're your own worst enemy.
Okay, so I think that's true. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that crypto has been marketed like almost like a get rich quick scheme to some, right? So a lot of people are careless. They send coins, like you mentioned, to the wrong wallet address. Can't get that back. You send it to the wrong network. You can't get that back. You lose your keys. You can't get that back. Or even you don't take profits when things are doing well. Guess what? You move, the thing moves. Oh no, it's going to keep going up. Or the thing goes down, but you believe in it. Something like Jewel. When Jewel's 12 cents, who was buying it? Or 15 cents, who was buying it, right? Or, for example, you're foolish. Like someone reaches out to you and says, hey, go to this link and send me 0.1 Ethereum, I'll double it. And people say, oh, you know what? They don't ask themselves if it's too good to be true. They just go for it. The reality is the more time you put into this, it's just like anything else, learning the space. I came into the space not knowing anything. I learned so much, and the stuff I didn't know, I reached out to experts to learn from them. So I do believe that this is completely accurate. Thank you.
No, I love it. Oh boy, no, and hot takes, and you ended. Did you rehearse this? did you hack into my computer and have a minute question rehearsed? I love it. Or respond to rehearsed. I love it. Raph, in crypto, average user, you're your own worst enemy. What's your take?
Hackers. Hackers are the worst enemy in crypto by far and away.
Yeah.
They are destroying this ecosystem and absolutely ruining people's trust, the general public's trust in this ecosystem being viable. You've seen them single-handedly destroy the Harmony network, or assist in the destroying of the Harmony network. Hackers, simple, don't even need to take a whole minute saying it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, Maddie Pask. Let's step away for 1 second. But the average user, you're your own worst enemy.
That was so weird. Okay, yeah. This is ridiculous. No, the average crypto user is a genius. This is the most speculative game we're all playing right now, and we're winning. Like, this is insane to me. Yes, people are stupid, but like, people are stupid everywhere. If you get the right NFT at the right time, you're gonna get rich. Like, that is possible in this world because all this shit is like brand new and has never been seen before. So this is bullshit. I love NFTs. Everybody should love NFTs and not hate yourself for loving NFTs. That's like what we're doing here. Like, I hate it. I hate this whole question. I don't know.
I love the response to your hatred of the question.
This is insane. Like, NFTs are amazing. Everybody doing this right now is loving it. And we're all in this scene right now. So like, why should we hate ourselves for maybe screwing up on some tech stuff? Like, whatever. It happens. Like, you learn from your mistakes, you get better, and like, we get rich off NFTs. Are you kidding me? This is great.
I love you, Maddie.
I love you, Maddie. I love you, Matt. And what's interesting to me is I think we all have a similar story in one form or in some fashion or another. So I love it. Yeah, and I can totally sympathize. And we will persevere, stick around, and you get that money back. I love it. Christian, let me get that timer back on. Widget countdown. All right. Average user, you're your own worst enemy.
I love all of these answers. They're great. Maddie, your answer is definitely right on. I feel like this is incredibly speculative. Everything in crypto is. I mean, from Bitcoin all the way down, we're in a world that's just brand new, right? It's like I got into this a couple of years ago, started learning DeFi, went through the whole process. I can tell you myself, even on centralized exchanges, when I'm trading, when I funnel money into Coinbase and then I send it to my wallet, I still send like 0.01 of whatever the token is first, just to make sure it got there, and once it got there, then I'm like, okay, now I can send a little bit more. And then I finally send the final amount once I've got it through. So I'm always extremely nervous whenever I'm sending money to anybody. And when it comes to crypto, it's like, you're not going to double check that 0x address 6 times before you send it. You're just copy paste and hope that it gets there, right? But yeah, everything that we do in crypto is very, very speculative. Everybody should know that. I mean, we're all in here to make money from it, but it's just, we're hoping that NFTs with utility, the DFK team can come up with this and make it work. And that's what we're here for, right? The team, making sure that we're doing the right thing when we have the right opportunity.
Love it. Love it. Beav, wrap us up. Average users, you're your own worst enemy.
people are emotional beings. In crypto, I think you should use your brain and not rely on your heart. You need to do your own research. You need to invest time to learn. The more time you spend seeking that information, the better your security will get.
I love it. I love it. Hey, great response.
Bonus points for cutting it early. Right?
I know. Hey,
Extra.
you get 2 points on
I have
Maddie.
plenty of
On Maddie's support. I love it. I love it.
deliver that one. I like going last. Give me
Beautiful.
last.
All right. So Grady, you'll lead us off in this next one.
Did you say
So-
Grady?
Grady, yes, Crypto Grady.
Ooh.
So again, same thing. I'll read off the question and then I'll prompt us out for the general summation of that question. Is got some words to say, sort of building up to the question. So, in essence, a meta in gaming terminology is generally agreed upon strategy by the community. Said strategy is considered to be the most optimal way to win and has the best performance at a specific task. App Central conducted research that measured the impact on time spent playing a game, comparing virtually the same game, one with meta, one without meta, and the researchers found that there was a 35% increase in time spent playing virtually the same game. Again, the game with meta gave you more of that interaction. All this to say, game meta equals more engagement. Meta lifespan can vary by game. It can change by season due to new characters, tools, or abilities. As a matter of fact, at our most recent AMA, Hubert said something to the effect of, balancing patches are inevitable. There will be combinations or abilities that will be overpowered or maybe underpowered. And if it feels like it's broken, they're going to fix it. They're going to change something at some point. You should likely, and this was interesting, you should likely keep this in mind when you make those purchasing decisions. You want to make sure it's competitive. Keep that in mind. So I pose the following comment. Reckless speculation is just reckless. Most people should wait to make those hefty DFK purchases. Grady, what do you think of that?
I think that's spot on. Konex, baby. Shout out to Konex Fight Club. When he first came out, when he first came out with Sears in Fight Club, they were a little too OP, right? You guys remember? Raph, you remember? And what happened was some people went and bought a bunch of Sears. They went up and then like it took one day and that Sear was nerfed. He's still good, but not the same. That's absolutely true. The game will unequivocally be nerfed, buffed, different moves. We're all talking about Brown Gent as a gamer. Matty Pest, he's like a kid in a candy store when we're talking about this stuff. I love it. Boxside chats. Okay, and we got Wowie and how we're breaking everything down. We're breaking down all the moves, all the things going on in the game. But we even see in the chat, we see people come in saying, I'm going to go buy such and such. Okay, but what might happen is be careful. It might get nerfed.
Beautiful. Thank you. And thank you for staying within that minute that was in my head and I forgot to put it up on the screen. Matty Pesk was like, oh no, give him a minute. Give him a minute. I love it, Grady. I love it. Brown Gent, same question. Is reckless speculation just reckless? Should people wait to make those hefty DFK purchases?
I'll wait for the timer to start.
Yeah, give me 1 second. There we go.
So it really depends on how you define reckless, right? The reality is, like in everything you do in your life, you deal with ambiguity, right? A lot of times you're not going to have all the information that you need to make the decision that you need to do. Now, let me be honest with you. Look at like Tesla stock, for example, like 4 or 5 years ago. Those who bought it when Tesla stock was like $1, they got the biggest payoff, right? Obviously, you have to weigh risk versus reward, but sometimes you have enough information to make what you feel is a good judgment. Does that mean it's going to be the right judgment every single time? Of course not. And that's probably where people will define reckless. But I'll give you an example. Let's look at dark summoning. When they started even talking about what dark summoning was going to do, I went and bought the entire floor of Sages and Dragoons at 0 summons. I got them for 60 crystal. Could that have almost been a bust? For sure. But guess what? I thought that would be a huge, huge jump. And guess what? I like doubled or tripled most of their value. So reckless, who knows? I believe that you have information and the amount of information you have kind of defines how reckless it is. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. Great example. If you're gonna, win big, you have to bet big sometimes. I love it. I love it. Raph, same question. Reckless speculation, just reckless?
Well, it can't be fully reckless speculation, but if you're waiting for the perfect information, you'll be sitting back and waiting on the couch the whole time. And so, fortune favors the bold. You absolutely have to use the analysis that you have. You have to do your own research and you have to find the opportunities to win. And if you want to be in front of the meta, if you want to be playing the next counter meta, then you have to be doing your research and you have to be making your own speculative bets. Now, don't be reckless about it. I think I think the brown gent's spot on that it depends on the amount of information you have or how much you're putting your head in the sand. And as long as you're not doing that, you're opening your eyes to information, you're staying plugged in, it's not going to be reckless and you got to speculate. You got to move forward if you want to stay ahead of the meta.
Love it. I love it. I just gave you. I'm fat. Speaking, I'm fat fingering, giving 100 points left and right. All right, Maddie, pass same question.
Okay.
Is it reckless?
Well, that's a strong word that I throw around a lot because I love speculating. That's like what my favorite thing to do about this game. Here's the thing, when we're talking about NFTs, this goes back to my first question when I said this is the most speculative asset that has ever existed, potentially ever. NFTs, crypto, and stuff like this. When those guys bought those crypto punks and Bored Apes, did they think it was going to be what it became? I don't know. Right now, we're looking at these heroes and we know there's going to be utility. We know there's going to be a PvP, which is significantly more than what they knew when they were buying those crypto punks, the original, when they originally was minted and stuff like that. So reckless speculation, that's kind of a crazy statement in the world of NFTs and especially in this game when we know there is a future and we know there is utility coming. So I think if you want to make a move right now, if you think something's going to be good based on what you've seen from these leaks, go for it. Fucking do it and make some money.
I love it. Bullish.
Nice.
Bullish. I love it. I love it. I love it. Christian, are we recklessly speculating unnecessarily?
First off, let me say I love it when Raph and Neindorf do their reckless speculation. That always pumps me up on the live streams that you guys do. But I think that the reckless speculation is just something where people ape in to a coin because they see a YouTube influencer say, "Hey, this is going to be the next best thing on the planet. I'm gonna go out there and fill my bags with this. You should too." I think everybody right now in the DFK community understands that we're on a path and we have a roadmap and we know where we're going. It's not really reckless. We're all speculating, but we all take a look at what we're doing, what we're buying, how we're buying it. I think the Brown Gent really breaks it down, especially on his podcast where he goes through and shows you what he's doing and how he's doing it so that, every little nuance is taken account of. And when you're doing that, you're not really recklessly speculating, but everybody here is speculating. We're in the realm of crypto. I mean, the blockchain can get hacked, things can happen, all kinds of crap can go on. But I think with the right type of speculation, we're all setting ourselves up for, an incredible rocket ship ride.
Recklessly speculating, not us investing in a microcap coin. How silly would that be? Beeve, all right, are we being reckless unnecessarily? Should we wait to make those hefty purchases?
I think everybody has their own risk tolerance, but speculating recklessly, I think, is healthy for a game and a community for a game. It's the reckless action that you got to be careful for. So definitely, be smart, like Raph said. Do your own research, find good resources, but by all means, speculate. One of the biggest reckless speculators I know is Mosh, and he's won plenty of times because of it. So yeah, all hell Mosh. That's my brother. I love him. All right, 30 more seconds. I don't think I can talk about you that long, Mosh. But
no worries. Feel free to.
But yeah, that's what we live on in Mythic Squad. We love reckless speculating, but we like to work through it as a group. So it's recklessly speculating is funner with friends, and that's what you should do it with. Okay.
Definitely.
I love it. I love it.
That's all I got.
Last but not least, are we just being unnecessarily reckless?
Are you ready?
We're ready.
It's all you.
DFK, baby, DFK. Reckless spending right here. I don't know what you're thinking. This is DFK. You need to sell your house. You need to sell your wife. You need to sell your kids. This is it. This is DFK. There is no reckless spending at all right here, baby.
I love that.
Rock
take.
just won. Rock's
200
voice.
points. 200 points.
500 points for that one, Rock.
I
Snap
love
it to a Slim Jim.
a true Snickers moment. I love it. All right. You had 20 seconds. I'll give it back to the floor if you're okay.
Mic drop. I think that's all I
Mic
need
drop.
to say, man.
Mic drop. You know, we'll give you 2 more points for that mic drop. That made me chuckle. Oh, I took points away. No, giving you more. Here we go. All right. Next question. All right. So check this one out. Let me bring this down. 1 sec. In 2021, Google Play partnered with the behavioral architects to explore how to optimize gameplay, deepen player loyalty, and drive long-term player retention. To learn from the best, they spoke to 15 leading game developers and 5 retention experts. I didn't know there was such a thing, who shared their learnings and experiences. They distilled the best practices and insights from the developers and retention experts. They spoke into 9 different key characteristics that can drive to a successful retention strategy. Now, we clearly don't care what they have to say, otherwise we'd be talking to them. I want to hear what you all have to say. What are your suggestions for player retention? And I actually do care what they have to say, so what I'll do is I'll post the link to that article in the chat box for all of us to look at, but I'll wait to do it after we all hear from you. So with that said, what are your suggestions for player retention? We'll start with you, Brown Gent.
Sure. So number one, it's making people stay on platform the longest. This is what YouTube does, Twitter does. That's how they reward people. In DFK right now, for the most part, people only have the ability to quest. Like this was like before duels, right? It was hard because you'd spend like maybe 3 times per day coming to DFK. There wasn't really anything to do. Once you added all this extra functionality, people are trading on you, people are buying pets, flipping stuff. Now you can do duels. You add more time. With PvP, this is a huge one, but I think they have to do it right. And they have to build it so that it's balanced, so that it's not just you show up with a couple Dread Knights and you win everything. The constant evolution of the game is what's going to get people engaged, excited, wanting to find out what they can do to break the next level of the game. This is how Magic the Gathering has become so popular. You have formats that have existed for 20 years that continue to be innovated. People like me who will show up and drive like 5 hours to play in a massive tournament like that. That's what they want for DFK. They want to pull people in. Right? They want to pull people in because they're excited.
Love it. I love it. Raph, give me a second to pull this up. What are your suggestions for player retention? How do we keep people not just coming, but staying?
Yeah, I think it's a layered engagement approach. You need engagement with the people and with the gameplay itself and the community. And so I like to think about this on the micro scale and on the macro scale. Micro engagement scale, that would mean that you have to enjoy playing the game and you have to want to keep coming back for more. A good example of micro engagement challenges that have been an improvement is reducing the number of clicks that it takes you to do simple things in the game. That's awesome. Micro communities, that's guilds. I think this is an area that's ripe for the picking for the DeFi Kingdoms team. They have all the setup. And we really need to capitalize that on and start to introduce gameplay into guilds. And then when you look at things from the macro side, there's engagement on the macro side, and that would be like AMAs. They're getting together with the community on a weekly basis. That's fantastic. And then when you think about from the macro side of communities, I would consider that conferences and cons. You guys all went to DFK, went to DC Miami. I'm so jealous. I didn't get to go. Can't wait to do an in-life raid to Minneapolis.
I love it. Oh man, I'm so looking forward to that. Let's make it happen. Maddie, what are your suggestions for player retention? Give me 1 second. Here we go. Let's get it started.
I think this is a super simple answer. Good PvP. I mean, if they create a game that people want to play, I mean, yes, there's all these cool things, this tokenomics, rarity of the NFTs and this whole DEX and all that stuff is like super cool and also like makes the world very engaging. But like a good PvP is going there is no good PvP Web3, DeFi, however you want to define it. That game doesn't exist out there right now. And if they can create it, that's going to like blow the doors open right now. So good PvP is going to bring people in. End of story. I don't know how cool the tokenomics are. And yes, the events, I'm pumped. I'm all excited about them. But like to really bring in the players, you got to have good PvP.
I love it. No, great. I mean, you've got it. I think we can all agree it's not a game yet, technically.
Yeah.
Right? Gotta bring them in. Gotta keep them in. Christian, what's your retention strategy?
Agree 100% with Maddie. I mean, PvP has got a lot to do with it. Getting people to come back is if Google is investing that much money in order to figure it out, Facebook obviously does. All social media platforms do. I think that the great part about DFK is that we all like to do something different. And, if you're going to recklessly speculate on tiers or gold or whatever, that's, everybody has their own little idea what's going to be the next big thing inside the game. I just look back to when I was first questing for Wishing Well tiers, right? And tiers were $4. And I was like, okay, great. I can pay for my heroes by going to the Wishing Well 3 times a day. I was up every time my heroes had their full stamina. I was out there. I was questing them. I was sometimes getting tiers, sometimes getting 1 tier, but every once in a while I get 8 tiers and I'd be like, yes, this is the best game ever. So everybody's got their own idea. I know that right now with all the different, things that are going on inside the game, there's a lot to look forward to. And I do think, though, once we get to that PvP, that's going to be the sticky thing that brings everybody back.
Love it. Beav, your suggestions for player retention. How are we keeping people in the game?
I think it starts with a good product, like Maddie said, but I also think community involvement is very important. Guilds are going to be very important, but let's be honest, if you spend time in a game, you want to feel like it was a rewarding experience because you spent so much time playing the game, right? So I think that's got to be a consistent focus. With that, you have to bring quality of life improvements into the game regularly, reduce the friction within the game, right? A lot of us have a lot of heroes. I also think the transparency with the AMAs is a great thing for any project. You get to communicate with the people building it, and the community gets to get involved. But really what it boils down to is time spent needs to feel rewarding.
I couldn't agree with you more. I love that statement. Rock 808, same question. What are your suggestions for retention?
Yeah, so I had to look back at all of my decades of gameplay. I never got paid in those other games. In fact, oftentimes I was paying to play those games. And some of those games I played for 5 or more years. So I think, like a lot of people said on the panel, having a very fun game to play. I think it's a combination of PvP, PvE, some solo stuff, the community. I think all of these things need to come into factor. Good community will really help retain a bunch of people. Right now, even without much of a game, because of the community we are here, we will grow a lot bigger once we have a much more fun game. And then also PvP is really good. Other things that aren't quite PvP is things that have kept me in other games before in the past. So I would think that fun game, that's something fun and like a variety for different interests to focus on.
I love the flexing going on. We've got a flex competition. Pretty awesome. All right, Grady, take us home. In your opinion, what keeps people here?
All these answers spot on, but probably the biggest thing is the big brains, the dream team of all dream teams. You got the perfect combination. You got guys like Hubert Cumberdale and Pervy Sage, baby, workhorse in the house, in the chat, developing the game. You've got guys like Beetle Dude. The team is the best I've ever seen in crypto, with an opportunity to, like many of you said, break through, make world-breaking game potential. I think this project has potential to be a top 20, if not even a top 10 market cap coin, baby. I believe it. And so just look at the big brains in the economy in game, all the different things they're grinding. The team is constant. They're one of the fastest developing teams I've ever seen in crypto. Yes, there's always delays in crypto, but you got big brains, baby. Hubert Cumberdale.
Hey, it's all about those big brains, right?
Yep.
And boy, geez, their commitment and resilience, yeah, so key.
Yeah.
Next question here, I think. Oh, yeah, that's right, Brown Gen. I don't want to skip
No,
you.
I went first. I was
went-
curious.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had a question. Sorry, a statement actually. Everyone talks about community, right? And
Yeah.
look how great this is. You got like a bunch of content creators on a live stream. Like, I think back 6 months ago, how many streams did you have for DFK a week? You had 0. You had some videos come out here and there.
Yeah.
Now you can't get a free hour. Like, I was listening to a live podcast before that.
Grady's been stealing all our guests. Grady's been stealing my guests all day.
I've been able to take a vacation.
Yeah, Grady's been on a run the last few days. Have you slept, man?
No,
You can be-
not much actually.
I've been gone for 2 weeks, and I've not been able to take a DFK rest because you guys keep pumping it up. I'm no lie, I love all the content. Sometimes, some days, it's hard to sort of jam it all in. And I was never the 1.5 speed guy. Grady, you've made me that person. I have to 1.5 everyone. Otherwise, you should. It's the only way to squeeze you all in. Love it. All right, next
You're not
question.
start going 2.0 with some of these videos here.
Oh my God, no kidding.
Yeah.
I believe Raph, you're up next, if I'm not mistaken. This question was actually given to me by Bolon, and I said, hey, can I mention your name? Because I think it's a good question. And he's like, yeah, sure. I need, I would love people to know how much of a genius and how much of a big brain I am. I think it was kidding. Joking around, but probably not. No, I mean he's so I'll go ahead and pitch it here. So it's very simple, it's very straightforward, but I think it's a good one. Gamify versus play to earn. How do they interact, and how important is earning potential versus quality of game for you? Let me go ahead and do a few things. Give you guys all a second to think on that. I'm gonna go ahead and put the timer up. All right, here we go. Raph, start us off.
It's a false dichotomy. You can't choose one or the other. It's got to be both. And so this is the crypto space. It's Web3. Gamify and being play to earn have to go hand in hand. Now, this is something that they're going to have to handle very delicately. I think that they have their work cut out for them, especially when we get into PvP. How do you balance things, and how do you optimize the gamified setting, yet also allow there to be a marketplace for earning things and for it to be pay to play? It's going to be very tricky, very delicate. And especially when it comes to metas and balance changes, I think they're going to have to take that slowly and make sure that they're forecasting their movements. So you're not catching anyone by surprise, as long as they're able to speculate correctly with their friends and prepare themselves for the upcoming market shifts.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, no, for sure. Maddie, how do you, what's more important here, the money or the gameplay?
I disagree with Raph so strongly on this.
Oh,
The gameplay and the game is 100% the most important thing in my mind right now. Now, if they can create a game that is super fun, that people are interested in and they want to play, that happens to have this DeFi added aspect to it, that is the goal. That is what we want, is this like fun game that's like going to take over and is going to be, bigger than WoW, bigger than all these other Fortnite, bigger than these huge games, this game that everybody wants to play, and it happens to have NFTs as part of it. That is the ideal. That is what we want. We want that gameplay. Yes, obviously we want this, money is part of it. I understand that. And I understand everybody wants to make money off it, totally. I get it. But this idea of play to earn needs to be part of it. I don't like that as part of the sentence. The sentence is, let's make a good game and then let's maybe make money off of it afterwards. I know people are going to be upset at that, but like, that's what I want.
Hey, yeah, I don't know if you're right or wrong, but it's a hot take. I'll take it. I love it. Christian, what comes first, chicken or the egg?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm hoping that the big brains, behind DFK can figure everything out. Obviously, you've got the Huberts out there and the workhorses that are all trying to put the pieces together to make this thing fun to play, but yet keep the tokenomics in place. I think we've seen a lot of really nice tweaks inside the game that have allowed some of the items and some of the the crafting to really start to take shape here. I know that we always go back to what tiers used to be, or what gold is right now, but I think that those items are really going to start to take off in value as we get more gameplay. So there's going to be people that can do lots of different things inside the game, but there's also going to be lots of different ways to play and to earn. You might just have somebody who wants to craft potions all day. You might have somebody who wants to just, go out there and quest and get tiers. You might have somebody that wants to do PvP or PvE. They're all going to be different things, and they're all going to have different objectives. So I do think that they're going to be able to balance things fairly well. The only question is, how high do heroes skyrocket, and does that make it unplayable for some people?
That's a great point. Great point. The Beeve. What comes first here? Is it the earning potential or gameplay quality?
I tend to think along the lines of Maddie, but let's be clear, it's Web3, so we're here to earn too, right? So I think the more utility they have for the in-game tokens, more use cases they have by building the game, creating a good product within the game, will bring the play to earn to the forefront. But first, they must, in the bear market, build the game, get the gamers on board with a good product, and then the crypto people will come once the market turns. So I think it's important for the product to be the snatching point of the audience. Like, it needs to be a good product, needs to be fun to play. They need to continue to build, though, and create use cases for these in-game tokens and other activities that we can use them for. And I think the play to earn will follow. So
I love it. Rock 808. Earning potential versus quality of the game.
Yeah, I think this goes back to an answer I had in one of the last questions. For all the games that I've played up until last year, I was either playing for free or I was paying to play, and loving those games for many decades. I think that there are some people that are really good at particular games, and then they can make a living playing those. Even in the past, we've had ESPN type of game play, and people can make money playing video games and stuff. There is not going to be enough income coming in from all the people to pay everyone out more than they're putting in. That's just not going to happen. And so the game itself there's just going to be this massively tricky balancing act where some people, in fact, the majority of people, are going to need to be okay playing a fun game. So it's got to be a fun game for those of us that aren't great. And then other people are going to be able to make money off of that. And it's going to be a really tricky balancing act the entire way through just for that.
So you're telling me no Lambo Rock? I mean, geez, way to break it to a guy. I mean,
no, there will be Lambos for us. There will be Lambos for us that are in right now, but maybe not for everybody later.
No, I hear ya. No, for sure. Brady, is it the earning potential or the quality of the game?
So again, you guys are nailing the answers. I think both Raph and Matty Pesk are right, but I have to say, Matty, I'm more with Matty Pesk. When you have an awesome game where it's a natural flow, like people who are playing Call of Duty or something, and they're leveling up their hero and doing and buying whatever equipment and stuff for their hero, they don't even think about hardly the cost. They just want to be the best in the game. They're having fun. It's just the natural flow of things. And so if you make an awesome game that is big brains like Hubert and the whole team, really, you make it awesome to play where it's just a natural flow of how to play the game, where they don't even, that people might even be playing the game and not even care about crypto at all. And then, but there's a demand for all the assets. That's how you'll make the most money. That's how everything wins.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Let me give you some extra points here. Fidgeting with different things here. So many screens. Never done before. 8+ screens here on my end. I'm going crazy. Brown Jet.
Okay, so I make tons of comparisons to Magic the Gathering. And you, for example, you could buy a deck and play with friends and make $0. But if you start playing competitively because you find the game fun and there's a competitive aspect to it, you can make a ton of money. I used to travel the world because of it. There's a bunch of economies like everyone talked about. So there are different ways to play. And this all comes down to like opportunity cost. Many of us who are in this space, we have other priorities. Every time we're doing DFK or making a video on it, that's something we don't get to spend on something else. So really it's what is kind of the return on investment, right? If we were just investing in a token, it's just one and done, and then you're trading here and there. And whenever you encourage others to put like a lot of money into a game without a payoff, it's a fast trip to like the divorce court, right? Because this is a play to earn game. Many are willing to like, pay to curate a bunch of NFTs. Imagine being able to make life-changing money because you set yourself up to take this game competitively, which I doubt what would happen if you were just doing straight Gamify. You would be a little more risk averse, right? That's what I think anyways. And what's sweet is everything you own is liquid. But if you get the game right, the money's going to follow. And that's why PvP is so important.
I love it. Yeah. No, I mean, it really sort of, put the dent in my armor here. You don't necessarily have to be the best to sort of be, just enjoy DFK or be good at DFK or make money on DFK. I guess you kind of do. If you want level, you got to put yourself out there and make those choices.
You can be the player, you can be the farmer. You have so many different roles that you could be an expert in. You
could be the crafter. Yeah, we don't know. We don't know what it's going to be like. Yeah.
Right, look what ADFK is doing as an example, right? You guys are creating a platform to help people. That is like, these are spaces that like, there are so many niches and so many ways to like win. So play to earn is kind of a misnomer. I don't know if it's just play. It's so many more things than that.
Yeah.
It's complicated for sure.
Can we acknowledge that Raph and Brown Gent came to play? Try hards.
No kidding. Jeez, you guys are rocking them questions. I mean those answers, man, pretty impressive here. We've got a few more. I think we've got 3 more questions. Time to catch up. No pressure here. We'll go on to our next.
Wait, Sergeant, can I ask a question? Is that allowed?
Oh yeah, sure, go for it.
Are there going to be any kind of like? Can we go back and forth at all? Do we have any debate questions, like open floor kind of things?
Yeah. You know what? At the very end, let's do some open floor. I like that idea.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for bonus points. Can we hand out bonus points?
Yeah. Is there going to be a lightning round?
I need some extra points too. Yeah. Can we get those?
Extra credit. There
I need a ×3 multiplier.
I've got way more questions than we have time, so there's definitely time for bonus round questions if you guys are up for it. No problem. Let's get this next one in. I think Maddie, are you next? If I'm not
Sounds
mistaken?
right.
Yeah. The average price, and this is after as of January 11th when I was doing this here. The average price of a currently available Gen Zero cross chains on January 11th, about 47 and change, 4,700 and change. Roughly about 48,000 crystal at the time, or 33,000 jade. If you were to clear the floor as of January 11th, you would have been able to buy 600 heroes. Those first 600 heroes, you would have been able to purchase those. With what we know to date, is it better, if you have the money, to buy that Gen Zero or clear those 600 heroes? What's your take? Give me 1 second. Think on it. I'm gonna put this up. Got a minute.
I have to say Gen Zeros. I think Gen Zeros. I believe in this game, and I believe in heroes and the PvP, and I love the speculation on what the basic what any hero is going to be good in PvP, in my opinion. And so if you have a Gen Zero, you have a factory to be making those, to be putting into PvP, or selling them and buying other ones to put into PvP. So I think right now Gen Zeros are your best bet. I think I understand why maybe like picking up a whole shit ton of floor heroes would be maybe beneficial, especially tiers right now if you put them out and put them, questing. But like for me right now, a Gen 0, especially, I would love to hear Jen's Brown Gent on this because he just got one, so I'm excited for his answer. But I think a Gen 0 right now, owning a Gen 0 and being able to create more heroes, that's the most beneficial move right now.
I love it. Christian, I think I know what your answer may be. I want to hear it. Is it best to buy that Gen 0 or clear the floor?
I 100% disagree with Maddie's answer.
Wow!
And I'll tell you why. I did the complete analysis myself. I just bought Gen 0s for the first time when Serendale 2.0 launched. I'm so happy that I won one in this latest raffle. But 600 floor heroes compared to one Gen 0, there's no way that one Gen 0 will ever pay for itself and as quickly and as efficiently as 600 floor heroes will. You're going to get so much more return. You could take those 600 floor heroes, quest them for a couple of months, and probably have enough to buy a Gen 0 if you wanted to. So I accumulated a ton of floor heroes when nobody wanted them. I got a lot of advanced heroes. I got a lot of elite heroes. Just like Brown Gent did earlier, I was buying sages and dragoons for 65, 70 crystal at a time. I was buying some advanced, advanced gene heroes for 30 or 40 crystal. I think that the heroes are vastly underrated, especially what we call floor heroes. They're going to all be extremely valuable.
I love it. I love it. Beav,
Okay,
Gen 0 or clear the floor?
I'm going to spice things up a bit. I think there's definitely value to Gen 0s. I'm not here to shit on Gen 0s, but I come from the other side of the train tracks where we don't have those things, right? So 600 plus heroes, that's cool too. But I'm going to go ahead and say neither. There was just summoning events. What you go for is Gen 1 10 of 10s. You sweep the floor on those. Try to get as much rarity as you can with the same value that you're spending in either one of these two things. With PvP at mind, try to find matches. Use ADFK. They're great. Okay. Then you're going to want to get yourself some DFK helper because you're going to want to quest all these babies, right? And then you're going to want to pop off summons with the intent to build PvP players that will get more value than these other heroes, but you still want to quest them while you do that so that you can have maximum value on those summons when you hit advanced classes. And then you go for dragoons and elite classes. And that's what I would do.
Oh my God, dude! Wow, you rose from the ashes like a phoenix, and you took a whole minute, and it was hot, and I loved it. Wow,
this is the way. Come into Midnight Squad.
No kidding. Rock 808. What's your take? Floor heroes or Gen 0?
Well, I would say I'm definitely not a whale. I did manage to get together 4 Gen 0s when they were really cheap earlier this year. Took just about all the money I had. I think knowing what I know now, even though I don't think I could force myself or make myself sell the Gen 0s that I have, if I had the additional money again now, and maybe with the Gen 0, I think the 600 floor heroes absolutely would be the way to go. What I'm seeing right now is better than a Gen 0, having 600 heroes generating income on a regular basis. And again, you're going to have a bot. Generating that income will easily bring the money in that you need to buy multiple Gen 0s over the next several months and more than just the one that you have. So I definitely think that. And then of course, also, if you've got a little bit more, gardens is another great thing with the liquidity pools if we want to throw in something besides those two answers.
I love it. I love it. Crypto Grady, show us the way. What are we to do? Gen 0 or pick those 600?
I just mindlessly sell everything I own and do both and do all of the above, baby. Do it all. Yes. Pets. Who knows? Someday land, right? We're absolute degen junkies. Okay. Now you're right. In the short term, 600 heroes might be a better payoff, but in the long term, like Aphex effects, and I might be stealing Brown Gent's thunder here. Like we've speculated Gen Zeros to be worth $500,000 down the road. There's only ever going to be 250 Gen Zeros of each class ever. And they are money printers, baby. Now, just to have one Gen Zero versus 600, if I'm starting out today and I want to get going, man, it's hard not to go in the, especially with the short-term perspective of the 600 heroes.
I love it. He may have stole your thunder, Brown Gent, but I'm sure you have a take.
Yeah, well,
Gen Zero or 600?
I'll be honest. This is the question I submitted to you, so I'm obviously a little biased.
You're ready. You're ready.
Anyway,
Cheers.
everything in this world is like controlled by inflation, right? Look at the situation we're in with like the macro environment. They printed so much money, right? So this is my somewhat analogy. Gen Zeros are limited in quantity, like Crypto Grady said. Floor heroes are not. There's a lot more risk inherently with floor heroes than the Gen Zeros. Although in the past, that was not the case. Like what Christian said earlier, last summer, I posted a video where I was buying really, really bad heroes and flipping them for 2x because at certain levels, you got that huge premium, right? Now, that's actually how I funded and bankrolled the Gen Zeros that I have right now. I wouldn't have had that opportunity. As the market gets more saturated, the value of these continues to go down because it'll take longer to get to that level that they're kind of baseline at, right? This is where things like the bots come in, right? What Beeb was talking about. I use DFK Helper because I tried 179 Gen 1 10 out of 10s, summon them all, and I'm sitting here with a bot hoping to recoup the value and level them up so I can sell them in the past. Buy that Gen Zero. If you get no coma, you'll be happy you did. Because when you wake up, that thing will be worth $500,000.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Raph, Gen Zero, 600 plus. What's your take?
First off, not only is Beef wise, but he's also handsome. So
Negative points. Negative points.
Points for Beef. We'll give you one more.
You know, I think it is tough. I think it's probably Gen 1s are where the most value is at. With that said, I have lots of Gen Zeros and I've totally degened in on them. I think if you are really serious about playing the game, I think they are an extremely useful asset to have if you can swing the capital to get it. I think the challenge with Gen Zeros, in my opinion, they really only start to get profitable when you have two of them, when you can summon them together and you can strategically pair them to try to go after the things that you want, whether it's selling for a higher rate or summoning them together and having those cheaper summoning costs. Or if you know the rental market is really low, then you could pair them both with another hero. And so I feel like you really have to have the flexibility of having two Gen Zeros in order for them to be the right choice.
I love it. I love it.
And probably paired well together also, which means that you've got to be very careful about the two that you get, not just any two random ones.
The ADFK boys are all about the mustard, yes? Right?
Yeah.
And we go for the mustard.
All about finding those
and
matches.
you have to give him an extra 20 points for calling me handsome. Don't check the guy.
No.
You know?
It was bribery.
Negative point.
It was a
Before you go to the next question, I want to say one thing. So I have a video coming out on this in a few weeks, but I actually was looking at, I compared all of like the Gen 1 10 out of 10 market. And if you split up the heroes by class, there are like, I think 5 or 6 heroes classes that tend to do way better on average. Like the wizards, the thieves, the legionnaire, the scholars. I forget that a monk is one of them. I think warrior is the other one. Compared to like seers, berserkers, which is the complete bottom, then you have archers and you have pirates, right? I'm sure when you go to buy your Gen 1s, you're seeing that, right? One of the other strategies that I've been employing is, given that rental prices are so high right now, you can actually get sometimes a non-preferred match. So I went last night, 3 a.m., summoned with my wizard. I found another wizard because it gave me, I think it was a 78 or 80% shot of getting a wizard, which would have actually been like a 40 crystal premium on the floor. So without even adding any risk to it. So right now, while these things are out of balance, you actually want to go and just like, I'm not even aiming. I didn't want to even aim for a summoner. I aimed for a wizard with like 1 advanced ability because it was actually way more profitable on average. The EV there was like plus 70, whereas anywhere else it was like plus 30. right? So there's a lot of things there that you gotta look at, because it's not just, hey, let's summon for like the Dark Knights, the advance. We already have so many of those. Like, I'm sitting there trying to print every single time, so I'm always looking for the plus EV move. If you find like a wizard, I'm trying to pair with a monk or something else that will give me one of those classes that everyone's looking for in the Gen 1 class, that Gen 1 slot. Yeah.
If when everyone's looking left, you look right. I mean, it's just there's an open debate question to this, Maddie, that I'll get to regarding the AMA, because I'm sure we have a lot to say on that. We'll make time for that, because I want to hear all your guys'
Go
take.
all night, all night. Let's go all
Oh,
night.
dude,
All night, baby.
with that AMA,
Brady's
we
got
could
8
go
hours time
tonight.
slot.
It's crazy.
Crypto's on the. I mean, Crypto Grady's on the stream. I mean, all night.
There is
Oh
a
my
timer.
God.
13
though.
hours.
Started, right? We just got going.
There's a time warp somewhere. We'll get to this next question unless someone else has something to add. We've got 2 more questions, and then we'll go to open debate, and we'll wrap it up that way. So this next question, all right. Let's see. Okay, so DFK is developing into a unique game with unique considerations. In a stream I did with Mr. Zipper a bit ago, we talked about how many dormant Gen Zeros we have. Yeah, it was somewhere in the hundreds. I can't remember quite how much. Many lost gene pools that may never come back, or who knows? Maybe they come back, but when they come back, no one knows. Since DFK land, the land you can purchase, rep, congrats, landowner, fits on a map specific geography. Something like owning land. If you need to bypass the mountain pass to get from one way to the other, bridge from one way to another. If you're playing PvE, maybe there's land that's great for farming, etc., what have you. This is a strategic value. How should the team deal with a situation where maybe a plot of land is lost, a compromised wallet, a player has quit without selling, etc.? What do we do with abandoned NFTs? I mean, generally speaking, land, Gen Zeros, what are we to do with those abandoned NFTs? Christian, let's get you started. Give you a second here while I pull up a timer and go for it.
That's the best part about crypto, right? Is that lots of assets are lost and they'll never come back. And it just is increasing that scarcity. It's increasing the value of everybody else's assets as well. I am so happy that, we are in a place where there's still a lot of stuff that's on Serendale 1.0. I don't know if you guys have looked, but there's still a ton of heroes there. There's, all kinds of assets that'll never come back. I'm in a lot of different Discords where a lot of people say, oh, DFK still a thing? I didn't even know that. And they might have had Jewel. They might have had other tokens. They might have had, heroes. And to have those lost forever is just increasing the value of everybody who's still here and everybody who's going to come into the game later. I think that we're going to see that along the way. It's just it's a part of everything, when it comes to these types of assets. And I'm excited about the fact that, we might have only a certain amount of heroes or a certain amount of Gen Zeros or a certain amount of land plots. And I know that it's gonna really affect things later, but I'm excited for it.
Love it. Beef, same question. What are we gonna do with all these lost NFTs?
Well, it's crypto, and the ownership is final after the smart contract initiates, right? So there's not much we can do about the ones that are abandoned, except for hope that when the money comes roaring back in, these people are at least trying to cash out so that somebody who's more involved in playing might be able to have a chance at it. As far as like how will it interfere with gameplay and how we play this game if there's like abandoned patches of land, I don't know how we would deal with that. I'm not that smart guy. I can speculate that maybe we can blacklist them for the gameplay so that we don't have to go through them. It's just like a dormant piece of land after a certain timer. I don't know how we would do that, but it's crypto, so there's not much you can do. You hope that when the money comes in, the players will come and the ones that left come back. So
love it.
Yeah.
Rock 808. Same question. What are we? And you submitted this question. Thank you very much. What are we going to do about these NFTs?
Yeah, I did submit this question. I brought it up in a talk a little while back also, and I've talked about it on my channel. I think a big thing to keep in mind is Gen Zero heroes and land are absolutely two different things. If we lose a Gen Zero and the owner gets lost or whatever, not necessarily a big deal. But when you've got a piece of land that's on a map, and let's say that the land is in a bridge where you're going from one piece of land to another or a little past, you've got to go through that land. Losing access to that land or the owner losing the wallet might really compromise how we move across the map. So I've already given this some thought, so I have a little bit more better prepared answer. But my thinking is that for the game development itself, people should, this is going to be a very negative, this is probably going to be taken very negatively since we're in NFT space, we want to have ownership. But I would say that the game devs need to retain ownership of the land and only rent it out to us as barons and land lords, and then we charge tax, and then the players pay DFK for the tax.
I hate
and
that.
Then if somebody comes in and loses that land or that wallet, then that can get switched over to another person later on. But the land itself with the bridge and the access is still there.
Oh, yeah, you're triggering Maddie. Controversial, but a hot take nonetheless.
I just don't think you can in crypto do that.
I hate that so much. I hate that so much.
We'll get to you, Maddie. You get last word in this question, so we'll hear it. Crypto Grady, abandon NFTs. What should we do?
So I definitely agree on the Gen Zeros. So those are they're actually a depreciating asset because they will, slowly over time go away. Now, I don't know about not owning the land. So I would definitely say I disagree with that. So when it comes to centralization versus decentralization, big argument there. And I don't think that DeFi is ready for full-blown decentralization. That's obviously the goal for all of us. But as we evolve and develop and build, it's like building blocks. Okay, then, we might be more ready down the road, but there needs to be some safeguards involved to where if things obstruct the game, like Rock was saying, where the team can step in or as a community, we can step in and do something about that. I'm not sure what that answer is though.
I love it. And and it's hard to sort of keep everything, track of everything. I love that the chat box is debating these same questions too.
Yeah.
And they're agreeing and disagreeing with all your comments. Impressive. Keep it up. I love it. Brown Gent, same question. What are we to do with these NFTs?
Yeah, so the reality is you can't know if the player is going to come back and want it later. Like I get random messages, I'm sure you all do, spam, help, how do I get my LP tokens back from Harmony? I wasn't around. What do I do? They spam it on your videos. If we're truly decentralized, we shouldn't be manually adjusting anything by putting something back into play. And then, yeah, part of it is the right thing to do. Second part of it, like Christian said, it increases the scarcity of the assets in question, whether it's Gen Zeros and lands. And yeah, I know, Rock, like you mentioned, like not having ownership of lands because of this sort of issue. I don't like doing it, especially if they weren't told up front, because it's almost like revolt.
Oh no!
No.
He was censored.
Sorry.
Give him a million points.
He wasn't over the time yet. He wasn't over the time yet.
Oh man!
No. You've got 30 seconds.
Give him a million points. Give him all the points.
Okay, basically, like about what Rob
At least
said.
he wasn't mid-rant.
Yeah.
It was mid-range.
Okay, I'm gonna wait till 30 seconds left back on the clock, and I'll start then. Okay.
No. You can start now.
Sure. So going back to what I was saying, right? So with Rock, like what he said, like not having ownership of those NFTs, like I get how it can be disruptive to kind of have it inactive, but if you didn't tell them up front, it's totally not fair to do that, especially since this is not done in crypto. Look at all the Bitcoin out there, right? I think it's like 21 million. About 3 million is lost. Can you imagine if we said, hey, you know what? Let's give those to the miners because those 3 million, they're not around. Let's give it to somebody because it kind of ruins what Bitcoin is. We can't do that. Maybe there's a solution where you can say, hey, look, lands aren't active. Let's kind of get rid of it on the map when it's inactive and put like a river or something or a plot temporarily. That kind of thing solves it. But when they come back, boom, the land's there. You know what I mean? Something like that. I don't know.
I love it. No, great take. I've discombobulated my order here on the screen. So, Vraf, I think you would have been next. Abandoned NFTs. What are we gonna do?
I almost agree entirely with the brown gent. Almost there. I think the idea of what you have to do is you have to use the thematic story elements of the game. You have to use the Gamify to end up coming up with fun stories that introduce these lost assets. So land, for example, it becomes a barren plot where a bad guy is posting up, and we can go fight on that plot of land. Or it becomes impassable. I think there's ways for them to thematically incorporate that into the game. And I think it's, with the Gen Zeros or with the land, they have to stay with the owner's wallet. This is Web3. That has to be done.
I love it. 15 seconds, you're seeding that to the field here.
I'll give it to Dread Pirate Rob. Sinkholes and volcanoes. Excellent comment.
I love it. No, for sure. Maddie.
Okay.
You had a strong reaction, Rock.
Yes.
You're gonna wrap us up here. I want to hear it.
Wrong reaction. You said no.
It was a very adamant no.
I'm very against that. If these individuals have failed to make a move on their assets, that is the beauty of the world that we are in. It is dead and gone. I do not want the team taking over any Gen Zeros or land that someone has left behind. That is ridiculous in my mind. That is centralization. That is the worst. That's what we're all here fighting, right? We all hate centralization. We're here to be DeFi. DeFi Kingdoms is decentralized. I do not want the team taking over any lands. If someone left it and it is there and dead, it is dead and gone. And yes, maybe we can do some explanations. A volcano or whatever, some shit. But the team taking over and using that land is fucking bullshit, and I do not want that to happen.
Except the
that
game is
cannot
not
happen. Those are dead and gone. That's it. That's fucking crypto.
I only had 1 minute. But I definitely have more to reply on that topic.
Let him reply. But what? I want to hear it.
You know what? Reply while I get a drink refill right here. I'm gonna reach over. Give him his reply. We've got more questions. No points for the reply, but let's just hear the reply.
Oh no! Well, then I'm not gonna talk if there's no points.
We should have a stream on this topic.
Rock. Honestly, I was being
it.
facetious, but I do want to hear, why do you want the team to take over why would you want them to take over the land?
No, I don't. I that's not what I want. So I'm not sure if I said that just because I was trying to get a concept out within the short time frame that I had. But you're right. We are here for DeFi, and I do not want to go against that at all. So my idea would be that a smart contract would own the land, and that people would.
Why?
Here's why. If I have Gen Zeros and I die in a plane crash tomorrow, my 4 Gen Zeros that I have, losing those does not affect the game at all. But if there is a piece of land that's on a bridge that the only way to get from one place to another is across that bridge, in other words, going through this person's land, and then let's say I own that land, I get hit by a bus, so I'm not active anymore, and there's some kind of pass.
So,
that's going to be a problem.
All right, Brown Jack.
Let's move
Brown
that
Jack,
land
he
to
said he
a
had something,
cemetery. Let's move that land to a cemetery on the corner of the map. I liked that idea.
I don't know if you're going to move that land because, again, what if the player comes back later on?
Create a situation where you have to go over that land. They're not going to create a situation where that exists.
I've seen on the map there's a plot of land and there's a bridge on it, right? Or there's a mountain pass.
That's art. That's the art that they put out there. That's not necessarily the functions of the game. Brown Jet had a point. Go.
To be determined.
So the one thing I would say is, if I die in a plane crash, you better watch the tavern because my hero my wife has direct instructions on what to do. There's no way ever.
For sure they will.
Right. Yeah, and so again,
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. There could be a major holdup of game functions, but I really don't think the team is going to design the land so that every land individually is required to make the game work. I don't think that's going to be part of it, And so therefore, if one land dies, that's fine. It dies, and then that's it, and we move on.
I wish there
Is
was
it-
governance tokens issued for landowners.
Yeah,
Right?
I think even in a crypto space does not mean that every single thing has to be owned by a player. Some things can be owned by a smart contract. They can be governed by a community. And then if the community votes like, hey, we need a new owner of this now, we're going to vote this to do something else, then they can. Also, the taxes that come in from that, there are games out there that take taxes from players already that go to support things. So the taxes could go to like jewel rewards as an example, right?
But Rock,
I
that would
think-
be fair because, like, so here's my opinion. You're a landowner, right? Let's say you're the landowner in question, and you leave the game for a year because you have some family issues you have to deal with. You come back, and they have voted on something. People who don't even have like the same asset vote because it's based on S-Jewel, right? You worked hard for that asset. It's all of a sudden it's gone. It's one thing if they set that precedent and that expectation up front to do it reactively and say, hey, look, people who don't have this asset made this decision on your behalf to take away the biggest asset you have in the game. I don't think you'd like that.
Oh, I agree.
Could-
There's already been land handed out, and so that's going to be an issue that would have to be worked through. Absolutely, yeah.
Raph, I'm really curious to hear your take because I think you may be the only landowner amongst the group. I don't know if you guys have secret landowner meetings like every Thursday that we're all unaware of, but as a landowner, I mean, what's your true and try take? I mean, it is an exclusive club and it's exclusive for a reason. I think it is reckless speculating, but you know they've made it so that land is probably more valuable than Gen Zeros, and the value certainly reflects that. I mean, as a landowner, do you think did you just go like, you know, re-put them in, or I mean, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, what's your take? I know you gave us your 2 cents, but I want to hear it from your perspective, knowing you're a landowner.
I mean, as a landowner, you know, and actually Neindorf and I, we own a plot of land together. We tried to time the bottom, and we'll see if we got lucky. So I think it's, you know, I speculated based on the value of what I thought land would be compared to Gen Zeros. And I thought that at a minimum, if this game takes off, Gen Zeros are going to be worth X. Therefore, land should be worth probably twice that much, is what I was hoping to get. I think land stands to be worth a lot more than that. It certainly was back when Jewel was $20. Yeah, I guess I go back to what I said before. I mean, you can't give these assets out now that they're NFTs. So I agree with Brown Gent in that regard. You know, now that they've been, you know, you've given ownership of these NFTs out, like you can't go back on that. That's irreversible.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll go back to one last question here, and then open debate on the AMA specific. I've got some notes to sort of talk through, and we can sort of openly debate for points, Maddie. So there is points for that piece for sure. But I was very interested to hear this conversation because it was very organic and it was very interesting. I see the controversy even within chat. I mean, going back and forth, and you know, truthfully, there may not be a right answer, and if there is, we may not all like it. So that's crypto for you. But you know, hey, SBF, he's a scary dude. I don't know about decentralization. I don't know about crypto. I mean, we may need oversight, guys. I'm just saying, right? All jokes aside, let's get to this next question. All right, Beav, I think you're gonna wrap us up as far as this segment, and then again, we'll wrap up with an overall piece here. So I'll read the question. All right. You find yourself going about your day, and you overhear the most peculiar of conversations in your day-to-day. A group of people hanging out, talking about an interesting crypto project that you've all heard about, yet know nothing about DFK. Despite the suggestion of the company you're with that day, you turn around and you give them that 1-minute sales pitch. What do you tell them?
Oh man.
We'll start with you, Beav,
Wow.
and then
The
we'll
1-minute sales pitch, huh?
Wow.
all right, a few seconds to think on it. We'll get
God
us
damn
started
it.
here.
All right.
I probably give you the hardest question.
I'm
You
so
don't
glad
wanna
you got
go
this
Yeah,
first.
why-
first. I'm so glad you got it first.
Yeah. Why am I
have
not
a
going last?
question to you. Hold on 1 second. Do you
Say-
guys have
say-
anything
say-
else to discuss for a second? Anything else?
Oh, no, sorry. Before I start, Rock, is there one more question? Am I missing? Sorry, the
No.
screen moved on me.
No, I would just think why aren't I going last on this one? That's all I'm saying.
Oh, there you go. There's two of you. I love it, Beav. You getting secret sort of messages back there.
He's distracting
Flashcards
me,
from the
if
mosh.
Okay.
Nice. All right, there you go. I bought you some more time to think on it. What's your 1 minute DFK sales pitch?
My 1 minute.
Don't
yeah.
fuck it up.
All right.
Yeah,
Sorry for talking
right.
about this.
That's
Oh,
negative 20.
you guys, come on. All right. Oh, negative
All right.
20 points. How many?
There you go. 1 minute.
All right. Sales pitch. All right. Do you like heroes? Do you like kingdoms? Do you like money? Do you like land?
I mean,
Do you like to dominate your friends in PvP battles? Do you like to talk shit to your friends in PvP battles while making money? In the bear market, there's plenty of opportunities to be had, but you need to do your own research, and I've done it for you. So it's DeFi Kingdoms. Nothing else matters. Check it out. Don't be the guy thinking about this guy a year down the road and say, damn it, I should have listened to the bee. All right. And once you get here, try to be the best. Try to be the best you can. And then call your mom, your dad, your cousins, your aunties, your uncles, and you onboard them too. The more the merrier. Let's have family and friends play DeFi Kingdoms together.
Oh, that's awesome.
What?
That is awesome.
Oh,
What?
I love it. I love it.
That was
I love it.
insane.
Sorry.
That was-
Sorry.
All
I
right,
had to
so
stand for that.
we did shift things around. Brown Gent, let's have you go next.
sure. So if you're looking for like the best intro to crypto, you can't do better than DeFi Kingdoms. In this game, you learn all about liquidity pools like decentralized exchanges, how basic token exchange and transactions work, MetaMask. Not only that, it's a complete immersive experience in NFTs where you can learn to build your own with actual real function. Why waste time on another shitty NFT project that's going to run tomorrow when you can build and collect a bunch of NFTs and you have an entire community dedicated to supporting you with all sorts of content? And just like Beef said, if you want to make money, no better place than by being a first mover in this amazing ecosystem. Mic drop.
Mic drop. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Be the smart money. Be the smart money.
You should have said that in your thing. You should have said that when you were talking earlier.
Well,
That
I
would've
think
gotten
we
you
can
some
slide
points.
it in since you took the first 2.8 seconds, right?
You
Edit
Edit that in, Sarge.
you get points in our hearts and minds. Rock 808. Let's hear your 1 minute.
Before you start the timer,
Yep.
I'd like to qualify, I guess. Are we talking about DFK today or in 6 months? Because
I mean,
we don't have PvP right now.
Dealer's
or
choice.
anything.
Dealer's choice.
Hold on, there's new
Yeah.
parameters being entered into this.
Yeah.
question.
I'm just asking for clarification.
No. I would say
I'm kidding, Rock. I'm kidding, Rock.
with any of these questions, it's sort of at your interpretation.
Okay.
You're hearing this conversation. It's either today or 6 months from now.
All
Sell it to me.
All right. So if you're looking for a game that involves NFTs and crypto, I think that DFK is probably the best game that we've got out there right now. I think one of the biggest things that we've got going for us is a team that continues to build in the bear market. They have survived through a bunch of various problems. And I think that alone shows that this particular project is going to outshine all these others through a lot of the thick and thin. That's the biggest thing, is we don't want to get rugged. And so for any project, no matter how good the game itself might be, I think having a good development team in the back is great. So once we've got that established, as we do, then the gameplay itself and the minds behind this game are so involved. Looking at the hero genetics is just one small example. I don't have a lot of time to get into too much of anything else, but there's going to be so much involved that I think that this is going to be really fun. Player versus players coming up. I think this is where you want to be.
I love it. I love it. I'm excited for this one. Great. I think if any of these questions were up your alley, this is it. Let me put a timer, because if ever there was a question you went over, this is it. All right, let's hear it. 1 minute. What's your DFK sales pitch?
When we all get in crypto, what do we look for? What is our dream when we get into crypto? Oh, I wish I could have gotten in Bitcoin when it was at $1, at 1 penny, at 1/4 of a penny. What is that mysterious crypto that no one knows about, that everyone's sleeping on, that everyone thinks is dead. What is that crypto project out there that has the largest chance for the best gains to 1000x your portfolio? Like we hear that mysterious 1000x. Well, here's a crypto project with the best team in crypto, the dream team of all dream teams, baby, with guys like Pervy Sage, Hubert Cumberdale, Frisky Fox, all these awesome guys. The team is transparent. Awesome core values. They look out for the best interests of you and the community, even over their own best interests, over their own pocket. And they're making deals. They're traveling around the world. They're doing all kinds of stuff. They got so much going for them. That is what we look for when we want to find also good tokenomics, deflationary jewel. It's the best crypto project by far, hands down, that I've ever seen in all of crypto, bar none. Bring it on. Anyone who wants to debate it, bring it on, baby.
Period. I love it. I love it.
There's your commercial right there.
I mean,
yeah. Dreamer Fox, if you're listening, you just take that snippet and send it out.
they will tomorrow. They will
use
tomorrow.
Case of the token, the use case of the items, the in-game economy. Can't do it.
Hey, the timer's
Forget
up,
about it.
baby. Chill.
Raph, your take. You see someone. What is your 1 minute DFK sales pitch?
All right. If you are drawn to nostalgic fantasy style books, lore, or video games, and you're looking for that in the world of Web3, DeFi Kingdoms is right for you. It has powerful assets that appreciate in value. You have marketable opportunities everywhere. You could be a supplier, you could be a fighter, you could be a trader. You can do all sorts of different things with the in-game economy. There's a community. There's a community that actually cares about people, treats them like their brothers and sisters, calls them their family. This is the best community out in the space. And there's an amazing development team. They're smart, talented, and dedicated.
Damn.
Wow.
30 seconds. Cut it off.
Record that.
You're
We need to use that on everything.
You're
Yeah.
swashbuckling and debonair.
Mic drop.
God.
That was smooth.
Wow.
I like that.
I
Sounds
almost
nice.
thought I know you had some time, but I almost felt like that was rehearsed and you've done that before. You've had conversations with someone. I love it. All right, Maddie, what's your DFK sales pitch? Let's hear it.
Right. Okay. You guys have heard of NFTs? Like, that's been in like the world, and like it was on SNL, and like it's a joke. Like, you know, they're like just these like art like photos, but like actually the technology is way more complicated than just these like dumb art photos, and they're incorporating them in a fucking video game that's like actually really complicated and cool and fun. And I really like this game, and it's a lot of fun, and I like to play it, and you can challenge your friends with your NFTs against their NFTs. And I think we all should be playing this game because it's super fun, and we can make money on it because it's NFTs. I don't know. That was the end of it. I kind of wanted to go more, but yeah.
You've got 20 seconds. Go more.
Yeah, that was it.
Nice.
-5 points.
Chug beer for the remaining 14 seconds. Chug beer for the remaining 14 seconds.
Yeah. Oh no.
Chug it. Chug it. You're on the cam at the big game.
No, don't do that.
Make some
I don't want that as
cookies,
the audio or the video. Yeah.
Oh, I would love it.
That's the snippet I use for future promotions.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want that.
It's like him chugging beer.
Mhm.
I love it. Christian, let's wrap this question up, and then we'll go in an open debate here. What is your 1 minute sales pitch? Give it to me.
I would totally ditto what Raph had to say. I think that was perfect. That was a 30-second elevator pitch. That's something I think we should all use. And I want to steal one of Beeve's lines. I think we should all preface our videos with, don't do your own research. I already did the research for you. This is the best project ever. But in all seriousness, down in Miami,
I endorse that.
down in Miami, I know that Grady and Beeve and, all of us, Rock, we're all getting stopped by people at the convention asking us, DFK, what is this? They thought we were part of the staff, and we had to kind of come up with our own thing. And I just said, hey, DFK is really, really fun. Do you watch Game of Thrones? Do you watch House of the Dragon? Are you into anything role playing? If you are, this is the online DeFi version of that. And everybody was into crypto, so they knew what was going on. It's got NFTs that have utility. It's got the ability to earn. It's got everything that you want in a fantasy role-playing game. I think you should just go out there and try it. Give it a chance.
I love it.
Nice.
No, this is great. And I've been struggling with this answer too. I don't know how often you guys were into this situation when you're talking or having conversations with in real life, family, friends, what have you, and it's like, oh, what's that thing you spend so much time on? It's like, I've struggled to synthesize it into a minute, let alone maybe even a 5-minute conversation. There's so much. There is so much, and I think we really sort of just chipped away at the tip here because there is so much. Maddie left on us, and we were going to do open debate. I'm sure he's there. I'm guessing he's getting a refill. He's running back to the mic.
He's chugging that beer right now, but doesn't want it on camera.
To
There
be
you
clear,
go.
Christian, in Miami, I told everybody I was Bolon, Brolo, and head honcho of DeFi Kingdoms. So
I am curious on that. I'm like, fuck it.
all right. So we have to end here with this question because there is so much that was covered and so much, and we can take it in so many directions. And because we can take it in so many directions, we could do this for 7 hours. My wife would kill me if I showed up like at 3 in the morning. Be like, dude, where were you? It's like I'm having an affair with all these online people here.
Crypto bros.
Yeah, crypto bros.
We'll just hop
DeFi
to their
Kingdoms
channel.
bromance. Yeah,
But
so-
but it's an important one because I think we can all agree to disagree that AMA yesterday was maybe the most instrumental, most pivotal AMA we've had in a while. You disagree, Maddie?
yeah.
You disagree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I mean, it was
and I want
big.
to
It was a
come
big
back.
deal, but like, it wasn't the most influential AMA they've ever had.
it may have
Okay,
been
no.
validating
baby.
in ways for me, but
I mean, it was
Okay,
a big
no.
deal, but like the one where they said fucking we're leaving Harmony, that was a bigger deal.
Oh, no,
Like,
no,
that was a
no.
way bigger deal.
I
Such-
didn't say it
such
was
a big
the
picture.
most, and maybe
Yeah.
I did, but it's one of the most.
Oh, all right.
Certainly-
Yeah, sure. Sorry. Yeah.
Certainly the most.
The longest one was the biggest one. Like
Say that
the
again?
whole tool, how we're gonna make it inflationary. That finally gave me some ammunition to kind
Oh
of
yeah.
you can
absolutely.
invest in token because people, as much as people are mining it, farming it, whatever, limited. You know how you hear about Bitcoin being limited? It's just like this, and we're gonna power so many different platforms, not just DeFi Kingdoms, but entirely everything on DFK chain, right?
So we'll
so you
agree
could,
to
you could.
we'll
Sorry,
agree
go.
to agree on this one and say that it was probably the most influential AMA of the month. And that may be true. So
Okay, yeah, we'll go with that.
So let me just Samich wasn't there, and if anything, I think we all have a newfound appreciation for the guy because there was a lot covered, but I took some notes. I'm sure like you all, you probably listened to it, at least more than once. I'll quickly hit these points, and I want to hear your guys' take. I'll put 5 minutes on the clock and 10 minutes, and we can all just jump in and talk, and we'll award points for.
So I'm just gonna start
what you all
screaming.
said.
I'm just gonna start screaming. So
Well, yeah, if it turns into a scream match, we might have to start muting people. So
yeah.
all right, so the lot said, including and not limited to in-game chat is being discussed. There is PvP progress discussed. Conversations around centralized exchanges, Q1, hopefully burn mechanisms for in-game tokens not named Jewel, green egg progress, changes to existing pets. We're moving from 6 crafting professions on pets to 8, possibly adding alchemy and enchanting. So that's interesting. We're moving from 3 possible profession
Wait,
bonuses. to
should
only
we
2
stop you,
possible.
or are you just gonna keep going? Or should
I was gonna
No,
keep
please
going,
carry on.
but
Please carry on. Sandwich
No,
Punch was missing, so carry on, please.
yeah, Sandwich.
Okay.
Golden eggs, ultra rare variants, level 10, unknown gene rerolls here.
That's what I want to talk about.
Pets, XP.
Because I know Beeve is upset about it. I know. I know.
way
I know.
back then-
Mythic Squad is upset about it. I can
Like
imagine.
7 months ago,
I know.
So with all that said, and there was probably more pieces I did miss. I think one of the pieces I kind of overheard, maybe sort of maybe I determined on my own, was that overall part of the messaging was, hey, and maybe they were talking to us directly. They were talking to me directly, right? Some of your moves are a bit reckless. Maybe tone it down because things can change, right? And maybe that is or isn't true. So at the discretion of every DFK player here. But out of all of that, many golden nuggets, what was so maybe the most influential or the most interesting to you? And how does that change things for you?
Let me jump
go
in
for it, Maddie. I know you're dying.
I am dying. I am dying because I think
Let's hear it.
I know the stats unknown is a big deal, but also I know Brown Gent has been looking at pet stuff, and that's more important. That is more important, but I think the stats unknown just very quickly. I never took that seriously, so like I'm fine with it. But I know some of the Mythic Squad guys have been taking it seriously.
I've accidentally got mutations on some of them. Starbuck on purpose put money into trying to do some
This
stuff like
is
that.
exactly why I'm waiting. Exactly why
I feel like that whole part of the AMA was directed at Mythic Squad and all of my
It was 100%.
It kind of was. I'll be honest.
Hey guys, screw you.
Listen, everybody has their own risk tolerance. It's like,
but the problem is, I think I saw a message where Hubert basically said, "Hey, we told you guys already." Problem is, they say it somewhere in Discord. It's not clearly announced somewhere. Like, you know how we have announcements?
exactly.
There's got to be like clarity and transparency.
Mhm.
They do it, but
It
not
needs to be
everyone-
archived for new
Right.
players too, right?
Because
Like, so.
The fact of the matter is, Starbuck didn't know. If Starbuck's not stupid. If he knew that, he would not have gone down that
And
road.
we're gamers. We're theory crafting. We're trying to get the next edge.
You're gonna miss. You're gonna miss, right? You're
Look
gonna
at
take
Mosh.
shots and miss, right?
He's gone crazy reckless into being the first on a lot of things in this game.
Right.
And you know, I don't know how you're gonna calm somebody like that. You can try in an AMA. But
Again, anyone
That's
jump in
the
this
thing.
conversation? Rock 808. I think you had a comment.
Oh, I just said this is exactly why I'm waiting and why I've said I'm waiting for a while. Why I only have one pet. I mean, we do not know, and we've been told that things could change ever since I started the game back in March when I first heard it, because I first got in. They've probably been saying it the entire time.
Okay, so I'll give you the contrarian to that right now. So back in December, like December 12th, I had 0 pets. 0. I went and I started just speculating on Mythic 9-star bonus pets at like 1,200 crystal. Look at the floor price of that right now. Can you imagine if I waited? I would just sit out.
Right. It's like, yeah, you still were buying the best possible pets out
But
there.
this-
It wasn't like you were like, I'm gonna risk it on this like dumbass common one. You were like, I'm gonna buy the best possible, and they're gonna
That's right.
increase later.
That's
That's not
right.
that much of it. You didn't take that much of a risk there. Like,
Right, but that's what I mean though, right? So like if you look at it, right, you like when I'm taking risks, I take calculated risk. I'm not just gonna start shooting in random directions. That was a specific choice I made. I wasn't sure how good legendary pets were. Yesterday, after the announcement came out, and I tell this to everyone.
I already said they were going to be good.
About like,
Yeah.
AMA, oh my god, I can't make money in this game unless I have a lot. If you went in, listen to the AMA,
Of course.
for 5 minutes, go into that pet store and buy those legendary pets with those mythic abilities. The floor got swept on those. If you bought that, you were making like 20-30% in like 10 minutes. So many damn opportunities.
Listen, I think you can definitely shoot yourself in the foot going a little ham when you're theory crafting and speculating and trying to build first better, right? You know what I mean? Like, but I'm gonna still do it even with the warning. Like that's just that's who I am.
I think there's a lot of money to be made too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we should all sit on the sidelines. It's absolutely not what I'm saying. It's just be careful.
I agree.
Well,
and have fun.
Absolutely.
Have fun in the
We
meantime.
do this for entertainment purposes only. and
Absolutely.
we're
Have fun.
professionals.
Oh yeah. I put
Have
myself
fun.
out there so that if I fail, I can show all of you people on YouTube.
Yes. And do your own research. Always be the
No,
smartest. guy.
I do want to shoot a question to Grady, and I don't mean to call you out, but like you have a million fucking heroes, I know. Have you looked at your stats unknown? Have you been focusing on that? Are you upset about that at all? Now that you know
I
that
was
it's like,
a little taken back because I was the one that asked Hubert,
Right.
like in the chat, and I asked him. I think we were both talking to Hubert.
yeah. I messaged you
Yeah.
too, but yeah.
Yeah. And this just comes back to messaging because there's about 50 other questions. And it's kind of like at this point, shame on me that I haven't got on talk.defykingdoms.com. So
Yeah, we need to use that more.
ago, when all hell broke loose and the sky was falling, I had like a zillion questions I was about to ask him.
Oh,
And then it was
rant's
just
coming,
that
guys. The
I
rant's
need to
coming.
Ask about like stats unknown, when their blockchain is hacked. But there's so many things in Hubert's mind. What kind of took me back was he was like, oh, like it was kind of like a no. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
stats unknown haven't ever mattered in his
Yeah.
mind, but it was never communicated.
Right.
It was the messaging wasn't there. So that's where it just comes back to, again, I think the biggest need is to have someone who is, because there's so much stuff to go over, so much material. It takes hours upon days, upon weeks, upon months to cover everything. That's why on staff, you got to have an alpha daily giver guy. And they could even cut down on the AMAs and just have a guy on that daily 3-hour show every day, you know.
Wait, Grady, don't you do a daily 3-hour show? Isn't that what you do?
But he's not
And
providing actual
Rock
so let me pitch this counterfactual and say and sort of take it and I want to hear your guys' responses. What's presented in the AMAs isn't always set in stone. Sometimes they're reaching and they're testing the waters to see how we all feel about any given subject. And yes, we can all react and sort of, and the markets react in such a way. But until it's written somewhere and sort of they've made those changes, it's not happening. And B, if I see you sort of raising your hand.
I know. I just think that there's been a reoccurring problem since the birth of DeFi Kingdoms with some of these things. And maybe some of them weren't answered yet, and that's why they were left vague. But I think with their approach and how they've been approaching it lately and over the last few months with the transparency with all of us, right? I feel like there needs to be a community-driven approach to this too. Like we need to come together and think of a solution that can be more transparent to new users and hardcore users and all users, right? So I think like an archived spot, getting started in DeFi Kingdoms with like bullet points, and it could be live. It could be added live. Like this is a live game, so things can happen tomorrow that weren't happening yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they need to have it archived. They need to have a place that we're all told to check, to do our own research for our own risk managements, right? It needs to be a transparent, clear place for people, not just written in Discord somewhere. And that's been probably my biggest problem over the months. But I appreciate their improvement on the subject, but I think we still need to push for this a little bit more.
Yeah, well, and compared to anything else out there, it's still light years better. I mean, except maybe Sandbox.
Listen, we're spoiled by these weekly AMAs with our.
We are.
It's better than. Yeah.
There's not very many games that.
I think it's better than vast majority of, if not all projects right now.
Yeah.
Brown Jen, you have a comment, and then Christian and Raph, I want to hear from you guys too.
Yeah. So basically, the first thing I'd say is we've alluded to this a lot over certain like streams. They're very receptive to hearing what the community wants. So a lot of times when people talk about stuff, like even the speculation on top of what they're talking about, because it's not set in stone, there's an opportunity to sort of influence the direction, because sometimes the theory crafting ideation that comes out of all of this can influence, because, hey, they go, oh, we didn't even think about that. That's a great idea, right? So this is why we always recommend talk. The more people talk about stuff, the more better ideas. Like, remember,
okay. Sorry. So Dark Knight should be the best move in the entire game, Workhorse, and make that like unstoppable, because that's like what I have. So please do that, Workhorse.
I'll buy that off you. But, anyway,
I'm pro Dark Knight too.
Sorry. I apologize for interrupting. I apologize.
The second thing is, yesterday, right? He bought a domain for something, basically, so he could post on it and say, hey, look, this is everything that Hubert's saying, but instead of Hubert like answering the questions, because they're very open, right? What's very clear from the answers is if people ask, they're willing to tell the answer. The problem is people aren't asking, or when they're asking, it's not the same person. So it's not communicated back to everyone, right? There should be some sort of forum where if he gets asked questions, like the weekly AMA that goes on, and he just puts all the answers in that spot, so everyone knows to go there, because that's something that we can all go to as players and just read, right?
Is that what the talk site is for?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think that's what the talk site is.
It's kind of, right, but it's not utilized the same way, because here's the problem: everyone has fractional pieces of information. It's when we all discuss together that we all start putting those pieces of the puzzle together, right? Because Hubert said, "Hey, when we're doing the G and re-rolling, we're not giving anyone any sort of airdrops like we did for everything else, because we told you." I don't remember hearing anything about this.
Well, I think what I'm saying is they've given us the tool, they've given us the site. We just need to use. They've even asked for us to use it. We just need to use it.
Right,
and
every week somewhere. Yeah.
No, I agree with you, Brown Jet, and I'm as guilty as you, Crypto Grady. I don't frequent that site as much as I should. Raph, I want to ask you because you're almost I almost figure you as you're on two extremes. You're buying land on the one side, and then on the other side, you're not really purchasing or sort of you're not on the pet hype train. I mean, how do you sort of come up with those decisions, and how do you sort of lean on these AMAs to make some of those choices? You hear this conversation going about the pets, and maybe you're not recklessly speculating in the form of trying to mutate on stats unknown. But I guess from your perspective is what are you doing that maybe some of us aren't thinking about?
Yeah, I guess first I would say I'm just not that big of a whale. So, I think it comes back to what Brown Gent said earlier about opportunity costs. I mean, I only have so many funds I can put in so many places, and I've chosen down the land in the Gen Zero route and trying to build heroes for combat. Trying to stockpile some more green eggs. So, maybe I could get a little bit lucky this time around. Tried to buy a few mythics instead of hatching them. I won't have enough heroes, or excuse me, enough pets for all of my heroes. So, a little underprepared from that standpoint, but I think that's what happens. You just have to pick some of your bets in the game and go forward with that. I don't know. It's been a fun conversation. Really thankful for the panel here today, and really thankful for all our listeners out there who are still hanging on to this.
Yeah. Final thoughts from everyone before we wrap it up. Maybe a final opportunity to rack a point or two. Let's say our goodbyes. We'll start with Beeve. I just want to hear just a general like hey, maybe a closing comment remark from you.
Do we get points for this? Do we get points for this, or?
Oh, absolutely, you get points. I don't know
So-
that you'll get 20 points to catch up, but you'll get points.
And you put the major categories on me first twice in a row.
No,
I
okay.
didn't know that.
Beeve, you're re-invited for another one of these because I think I personally enjoy this a little too much.
Should have gone with Mosh. Should have gone with Mosh probably.
How do you know I'm not Mosh this whole time?
Oh shit! Oh boy!
I think it might be Mosh.
Maybe. So,
but if he wins,
remarks.
Beeve's over there in the living room with a bunch of percolating water and whatnot. So,
so I guess that was Beeve's closing remark. Christian,
that should be worth some points.
I'll give you.
You've been sloughing on the points, man. You've been sloughing on the points.
93 points. You came from nowhere to somewhere. I'll give you.
I have high expectations, man. I thought I was gonna blow Raph out the water.
It was a pleasure having you.
No, all right, you guys say bye. I love you all. Thanks for having me on. Seriously.
Great to see you, man.
No, for sure. And we are gonna try and do another one of these on Wednesday. We're gonna have the other 2/3 of the Mythic squad on. So we'll have Mosh and Starbuck on. So that'll be fun. Christian, it was nice seeing your person. Nice having you on. You always have unique takes. I love it. You're the you're just a wealth of knowledge. I think if I could have listened to you back when you said, hey, you know what, maybe cash out and hold on for a minute, I'd be a couple $1,000s richer, but here I am now. Any closing remarks from you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, much love to everybody, on the panel and watching this right now. Make sure that you've given it a thumbs up and subscribe to Sergeant's channel. I mean, he actually was the one that really got me excited about when he posted that Twitter post, hey, let's do a meetup in San Diego. And I was like, oh yeah, that's great. We got to do that. And I know that Raph and Neindorf have talked about doing one in your area as well. And I just, I think the community is the biggest part of DFK. I love watching all of your content, and, everybody's just so amazingly incredible. That just became more and more apparent to me when we were in Miami and we got a chance to hang out with the team and we all got a chance to bond a little bit. So I just think that this, the trajectory right now, I mean, I look at it like, we're in the middle of this winter bear market where, you know, all of us are excited about this project, but there's only about, you know, a handful right now. You know, there's probably 1,500 people that are actually actively playing DFK. Can you imagine when we have 15,000, you know, and that's just, you know, looking at 10x and then 150,000. And I think, you know, it's one of those things where we all see the trajectory. We know what's going on. We can speculate over what's going to be the best asset or what's not. But really, realistically, get in, buy yourself a couple of heroes, quest them, build up some jewel, put it in the gardens, pair it with something that's not going to fluctuate too much, and just ride this out, baby. You've got 3 or 4 years until you're really, really happy that you did. And all of these people here on this panel are really going to help you along the way. And there's so many more out there in the community as well. So, you know, this is just awesome, Sergeant. Again, I appreciate you and everybody for their content. And I love the whole community. It's just been fun. It's been a really fun, you know, this has only been about 15, 16 months since this project has been out. You know, can you imagine 2 years from now? It's going to be so fun.
Oh no, absolutely, absolutely, Christian. I appreciate you making time for us. Maddie Pask, time to rack up 100 points. Let's hear it.
Wait, me?
He's
Want to hear from me? Oh,
I want to hear from the one, the only Maddie. And before I let you go, I think you're coming back for redemption on Wednesday. And I'm not presuming you're gonna lose this one, but but if you did, second chance shot, and that should be a fun one. I think like I said, Starbuck Mosh will have some others. And I know you're up for these. I know, ridiculous. What happened, Maddie? Let's hear it. Let's close it out.
Yes. No, this is super fun, Sergeant. Thanks for having me on. Bogside Chats, we like to speculate wildly about the PvP. That's kind of like what we love to do, and the game in general, and crypto in general. Catch us. I don't know. We post whenever, whatever.
That's my schedule. Whenever, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. 5 points for that. There you go.
Oh shit! I got 5 points for that. All right, sweet.
You did, but Raph, you might.
I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing, Sarge. I totally see what you're doing, Sarge.
Yeah.
Is he gonna make it even at the end? He's gonna make it even at the end, isn't he? Yeah. Everybody's even.
Yeah.
Everyone gets
bullshit.
95.
That's bullshit. Hey, hey, Sarge, screw you, Sarge.
Negative 5 points. Well, we can't make it
me
even.
-1. Make me -1.
I'm not.
95.
Hey, the brown team's gonna win anyways.
Because we tied. No one gets an egg. I love it. Okay, now Brad, take us home. Closing remarks. Your final thoughts.
Love you, fam. Take it easy.
Great sign. Great sign.
Nice.
Great sign.
I love it.
Yeah.
He literally dropped the mic.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! That's kind of baller.
Did he
Raph-
really
I
sign out? Did he sign
Raph
out?
has that
He
ambiance
did.
about him, dude.
He literally X'd out of the thing.
We'll give him the 97. We'll keep him there. Crypto Grady.
Skiller, I gotta come through for you in the clutch here, baby. All right, here's what we gotta do. We need to do this every day. We're just like,
Oh jeez.
55 minutes. Someone finds out questions. We get the timer going. We stay on time, and boom, we end it. I love this. This was absolutely.
Wait,
genius.
Grady. What about the FUD? What about the FUD that's been out there?
Oh my lord.
This could be funner with drinks.
Is there
though.
FUD?
Just like
Who's
talk about the
hours
FUD
later?
that's out there, Grady. Talk about
Who's
the
out
FUD.
there bitching? Sick me on him, baby. Okay.
I will at you every time. Grady.
I'm Grady. We're all Grady.
Every time.
This was so brilliant, Sergeant, and you're so perfect to host something like this. So well done.
96
I
points
love
for
you guys.
No,
I love
okay,
you.
no,
I'm gonna-
Grady,
What
I
a
really-
kiss ass. Jeez, Grady. Really
Hey,
going for those
I'm
last
actually not a
minute
kiss
points,
ass.
huh?
I tell it like it is, baby.
I love
I
it,
love
Rock.
it.
I love it, Grady. Rock, your final thoughts. I mean, I know if you've got some thoughts here. I know you're up late with us, and I appreciate that. And just want to
Way past my bedtime.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, but this is
No. I would not miss that.
You sort of get lost in it. You really do.
Yeah,
Rock?
in fact, this type of thing is, I think, what makes the game fun for most of us right now. It's the community. It's interacting with each other. We're all, everyone that I've seen and interacted with is just fantastic. And like it was said on a couple of the answers earlier, I think that the community is really one of the best in any of the online spaces that I've been in on the past. Having said that, I will also say, I think we need more things like this. I'm super excited to see that so many of y'all have been teaming up and working with each other and doing stuff. I think the community loves all of these videos that all these content creators are coming out with, and not just those of us here on the panel right now, but so many of us that are just getting started with our channels as well. I think it's fantastic. I'm excited to see more and more people come on and provide more DFK content. I guess that's it. Thanks, guys, for everyone who's doing this stuff.
Appreciate it.
And I'm just excited. I'm more excited now for DFK than I've ever been. Not only the community, but
even than yesterday
that's coming out. Absolutely, yes.
Brown Gent, with that epic giveaway that Rock did win, and I know things have gone around. I couldn't have thought of a better person to end with. And I'm sorry, Maddie, he won. I'll piss you off a little by giving Beef just one more point, so there's no tie there.
Yes! What? Yes, I beat Maddie!
Brown Gent, I mean,
unbelievable, unbelievable.
My life is complete. Thank you.
Beef's getting all the handsome points.
No kidding. Woo. Brown Jet, no, thank you for your time. I know you're under the weather. Thanks for taking the time, and huge shout out. I know you've given many of us, all of us here. We really appreciate you. But yeah, closing remarks. Take us home.
Yeah, sure. So it's 1:30 a.m. here. I'm hopped up on cough medicine, getting a little delirious. Despite that, my frame of reference for everything around DFK is this summer, right? Game was, I always like to say, it was on life support, right? Things were horrible out there. It wasn't just DeFi Kingdoms, right? It was the entire space. Things have gotten actually worse, right? Celsius, FTX. Things are crumbling all around us. But despite that, at a certain point, DFK held and has been moving in the right direction, right? DeFi Kingdoms continues to build. We're seeing some incredible momentum in the offerings that are coming out. Breakneck speed, right? Like, one of the things Grady always talks about is what other team is out there building this way, right? Yeah, guess what? They may not hit every milestone when they said they would, but guess what? They do it right and they do it properly. And I don't want to hear any more whining from anyone else because they're giving us that heads up. They don't need to do that, right? Now, on top of that, if you've ever questioned the longevity of DeFi Kingdoms, just take a look at how much noise is being made around this amazing ecosystem right now. You can win in so many ways, right? Like speculating on assets. You can even build like amazing tools, right? DFK Quester, ADFK, DFK today, like what Christian's doing, right? So many different ways to kind of monetize, but still pour your passion and soul into this game and support players while doing so. It's gotten to the point we are seeing people who left the game months ago come back for another spin, right? Because they start to realize they've turned their back on something that could be a life-changing investment. It's up to us to help prove to them that they made the right decision in returning, right? And I want to thank everyone in the community for like coming out tonight. Make sure you like the video if you haven't already, like Christian said. We got to keep supporting all the content creators in the space because if there's time without a live stream on YouTube, we got to fill those time slots. So if you want to start a YouTube channel, now's the time. Big props to Sarge and everyone else on the panel. This was super fun. We need more things like this. And
Daily.
The Grady Bunch needs to be like at least weekly.
Yeah. Oh my God!
It would be fun. Yeah,
we're gonna do it.
We need to call it the Grady Bunch too.
Yeah.
I've been in talks with a bunch of content creators, and this is open to everybody. When PvP launches, I want to see a 24-hour live stream.
Oh, Jesus.
Anybody who's considering coming to DFK is able to hop on and see a bunch of creators. We're gonna take time slots. And we're gonna
I'll join that.
Yes.
I mean, yes.
I'm gonna cover all the time. I got you.
For the team. Let people come in.
Fuck my job, I guess.
Yeah. Take the day off. Take a sick day, dude.
Hey, 24 hours straight. I got the time. I'll cover it.
We've all been waiting for that day, and
I know. I'll be just as excited. You're right.
Hey,
Swear
Sergeant,
GoPro to
one
work,
more thing
Matty.
before you bring us home. I think I just want to let people know I'm going to be out in East Denver in March, and I know
Oh,
that
that's
I
coming
talked to
up, right?
Bolon.
Yeah.
I've talked to Bolon a couple times. DFK hasn't committed it to it yet, except Magnus
be
is
there.
definitely going to be there.
Yeah.
He's going to be speaking like
Cool.
February 25th, I want to say. East Denver, it's going to be great.
That's
2
very
weeks
cool.
out there.
Yeah.
It's totally free. The conference is free. You just got to get there. So
awesome.
if anybody else is going to be in East Denver, I'd love to connect and, hang out and, tour the conference. I've never been there
Very
before
cool.
for the actual
Yeah.
conference, but it sounds like it should be fun.
No, it should be a blast.
I might
I'll
try
probably
to
hit
come.
you up.
I seriously might try and meet you there, Christian. That'd
Awesome.
be awesome.
Yeah, no, let's.
We're in
let's
good
do it for
hands then
sure.
if you both are going. So
Yeah, no, I appreciate you all. Thank you very much for taking the time. Brown Gent, if you don't remember who you're repping, because I
Biscuit.
certainly don't. Who
Right?
was it?
You told me it was biscuit or something.
You may be right. I'll have to go back to rewatch it.
No,
and reach
Biscuits
out.
is in there. Biscuits.
Haitian's my guy. I remember my guy. You guys remember?
I
your
remember
guy?
my guy too. We were
Alright.
chatting.
Yeah,
Haitian. I
Yeah.
love you. I tried, though. I tried.
I tried easy.
Rubio and I chatted. We think the system was flawed on the
All
scoring.
right,
I
Matty.
think the
All
scoring was
right.
flawed.
There you
I think the
go.
scoring was flawed, to be honest.
You've just
He's
lost
holding
another
a red
point.
flag. He wants instant replay.
Triple digits, yo. That's it.
Oh man.
So with
Good
that
job,
said,
Brown
crew,
Gent.
with that said, crew, we'll catch you next time. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did, and I'll
Absolutely.
try more of these for sure.
Yes,
Catch y'all next time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Foolish.
live right now. Right
Oh
now.
my God.
Of course you are,
Brady.
Grady.
I'm gonna do it.
I
We're
don't
doing it, baby.
expect any less. I'll jump. I'll listen.
You're so
I'll
sweaty.
We're just getting
Oh.
started, baby. Yes.
Oh, man.
You're
Oh,
built
man, of
different,
course you
Grady. I
are.
love it.
Can I just say one thing
DFK
ago?
vampire.
So
Yeah.
my wife asked me like a few weeks ago because she heard me talking to Grady on a live stream because she walked in and she's like, "You know Crypto Grady?" Because what happens?
Oh, yeah.
She knew him already?
Oh, yeah.
She asked me, she thought he's a celebrity because she hears like I have my phone next to my pillow when I'm sleeping, and you see Crypto Grady talking when I'm passed out.
When Popcat
Nice.
Crypto Grady, I would buy
You
him.
actually know him?
Yeah.
Jump on his stream. I'll plug my next stream Wednesday. Come see something similar with Mosh, Starbuck. We've got Maddie's returning sandwich is supposed to be on that one.
Yes.
We've got Crypto Meme and Pran. Zabu's
That'll be
gonna
a good
there.
one.
So it'll be a
Right.
good one. We will see you then. Sarge out. Grady,
Woo.
take it away.
Thank you so much.